What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Boom! What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of my show. In this episode, I went and saw a movie, as I do, as I have done in the past and will do in the future. Maybe not as much as I have been, just due to certain things of MoviePass, which I will get into in another episode. For this episode, I went and saw an independent movie by director Gus Van Sant, written by John Callahan, which is basically the subject of this movie as well. It's called Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot. It is a biographical, it's a biopic, which I did not know going into it. I just had seen the trailer. It's got Jonah Hill in it, looking thin, Rooney Mara, and Joaquin Phoenix is the star. He plays John Callahan. I didn't know who John Callahan was, but his cartoons, his style, cartooning style, looked familiar when I saw the movie. But so anyway, the fucking breakdown of this thing, it was an interesting movie. It's basically about a guy who has alcoholism and gets in a crazy accident and becomes paralyzed, and kind of his struggle to make a comeback in life in a lot of ways, despite his past, despite having his problems with alcohol, having his problems, the things that come with just ignoring the responsibility of life when you're addicted to shit. It's so much easier just to kind of hibernate and just block all the responsibilities and things you should be doing out of your life and just get wasted and live a different reality where nothing is necessarily bothering you. So it's a fucking, I don't know, it's a weird thing because it's, I know I drink a lot. I'm probably a high-functioning alcoholic in a lot of ways. But I also know people who are way farther than as far as their inability to handle life. And instead of dealing with life and dealing with responsibilities, they choose to just get wasted and make excuses for shit. And I know plenty of people like that. I know a few people like that, I should say. And then there's people, like, for me, I'm a huge fan of comedians. I'm a comedy nerd, listen to way too many podcasts hosted by comics. And a lot of the backstories that they have, a lot of comics are struggling or recovering alcoholics or drug users in general. So it's like, it's kind of a weird, honest look at what it was for him, John Callahan, for him to go through. And he played it honest, which is nice. It's nice to see an honest portrayal of somebody who's an alcoholic by somebody who was an alcoholic. Because it can be very much, especially for, like, if you're an artist, like this guy was, I believe he was an artist. He got into drawing cartoons after. But it's being the alcoholic, like the Bukowski, is such like a romantic idea for artists, when the reality is it's not. It's just basically you're going to have more content, I guess, if you're a disturbed person and you've had like a, not necessarily disturbed person, but if you've had like a rough life or gone through rough shit, which if you're addicted to any kind of drugs like alcohol or pills or whatever it is that makes it easy for you to just hide away from reality, then it's I don't know. It's good. As far as the director Gus Van Sant, he does like Good Will Hunting, probably his most like wide as far as people that can relate and it would be able to enjoy, like commercial success. Definitely his biggest commercial success, I would say. And then he's done like a bunch of like independent movies. Like he did one called Elephant, which was about school shootings, I believe about Columbine, which was one of the, if not the first school shooting, mass shootings. Um, and then he's done like he did one on I think Kurt Cobain, and they're like loosely related but very slow. There's only a few people in them, and just like definitely a style that's most people won't have the patience for. Where this one is kind of a mixture of both. Some good actors. Jack Black's also in it. Um, but yeah, just really good performance from Joaquin Phoenix. I mean, he's a great fucking actor. Anyway, for anybody that talks shit about that motherfucker, he's great. The weird like fake documentary that I did was interesting as fuck. But he plays it great in this movie, and I enjoyed this movie a lot. It's not a comedy. There's comedic moments. There's dramatic moments. It's just a film that's grounded in reality and shows you this man's struggle and then comeback. And it's not like, it's still it's interesting. It's one for me that makes me think a lot, reflecting on myself and to what extent I try to take myself out of responsibilities. And then also makes it just so much easier to judge the people that I know in my life that have drinking problems. Because it's like, oh, there they are. In so many ways, there they are. It's like that guy is just a few clicks more down the rabbit hole of just, fuck everybody. I just want to have a good time. Yeah. So if it's in your area and you can go see it, there's only one theater that's showing it in the Valley. If you're in the Valley, go to the Palm Desert Town Center, the Westfield Mall. The theater there shows it. I don't know for how long, but don't worry, he won't get far on foot. Is definitely a movie that I could see Doug Benson using on Live, Die, Repeat. For those that don't know that podcast, go watch Doug Loves Movies or listen to it on podcastings. That's it for this episode of The Ray Taylor Show. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Ray Taylor, website, inspireddisorder.com. Get bonus content, exclusive content over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. I'm pointing to the sky because that's where all the links are to everything I do. And as always, have a great week, everybody. Peace out!
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to my show. This episode, I'm going to talk about Movie Pass. For those of you that are loyal followers of mine, you know that I've been doing watching a lot of movies, doing a lot of movie reviews, even more so than in Denver. Now that I am no longer doing the Inspired Disorder podcast, still watching movies, basically all the same content. But anyway, been using Movie Pass, signed up for it around a year ago, a little less than a year ago. And the end of last year, I should say. And $10 a month, can't beat it. And pretty much watch every movie that's out, aside from repeat viewings, which they changed that like 4 months ago, which is fine. I don't really watch a movie more than once in a movie theater, except for Star Wars. I watched the Last Jedi. I watched twice using Movie Pass. So it was definitely after December 15th. That they changed that. But for those that I'm sure are aware, Movie Pass has been having some problems as of recently. Even by the time this episode comes out, I mean it's only coming out on Tuesday, but if potentially this comes out and you see it later, I don't know if Movie Pass is going to be around, and it's a bummer. So I guess there was a day where just the whole service shut down. They ran out of money. They couldn't do the service wouldn't work. And then after that, this was like the day before the new Mission Impossible came out. And then when they got the system back up. Mission Impossible was only available at very select screenings. I had to go to. There's only one theater that Movie Pass had available to get movies for get showtimes for Mission Impossible. So I went there, saw the movie. Great movie, so much fun. That is a movie I would definitely, if I had the ability, I would go see it again using Movie Pass. But yeah, so it's becoming less and less, and now a lot of the new releases aren't even showing up on Movie Pass. There's only a few movies that are available to watch and very select showtimes, even though they introduced like surge pricing and all this shit. I guess it wasn't fast enough. They ran out of money way faster than it is possible. So I'm probably not going to be watching as many movies in the theater if I'm going to have to pay full price if Movie Pass is gone. I've heard of AMC has a similar thing just through AMC theaters called Stubbs A-List, which if you're a subscriber of the Slash Filmcast, they have talked about it obsessively over many, many episodes. But sadly, in my area, there are no, like San Diego and LA are probably the closest to AMC's, which are both, 2 to 3 hours away. So AMC's are not an option. The theaters that are in the Valley have really shitty. They don't really have a subscription plans. They're club things. Like Regal is the best one as far as their like kind of points that you get. So I get like free sodas and shit like that because I go see a lot of movies at Regal using Movie Pass and rack up the points and just. But now, yeah. So I'm not going to be watching as many movies as I was. And it's really sad to see. Like, this is where our society's at. This is how you know, like, we're fucked. Because there's people on the internet that are saying things like, oh, I'm glad I didn't sign up for Movie Pass. Look, it's going out of business. Good thing I didn't sign up for $10 a month to see unlimited movies every month up until this point that it's not working anymore. Oh, I made such a good decision. It's like, fucko. If you had gotten Movie Pass, you would have been able to see, like, I don't know probably 100 movies. I don't know how many movies I've seen. I've seen a fucking shit ton of movies with Movie Pass per month. So it's like, to the point, like, easily more than 10 movies a month. So I'm paying less than $1 a movie. So if you're saying I made a bad decision for paying less than $1 a movie for the last, year, then you need to fucking take your head out of your ass and understand, like, just basic math. Just basic math. It's like, yeah, okay, it sucks now that I can't use it as much, and if it goes out of business, I won't be able to use it clearly anymore, but I got a shitload of use out of it, so it was a great investment at the time. It's just fucking these people that want to just talk shit, but they know nothing. Their brains, like, barely move. Like, the gears are made out of wood, and the wood's just been rotting and fucking swelling, and they don't turn very good. It just squeaks so loud, dust comes out of their ear. It's just stupidity, just blatant stupidity, where people just are so amped to talk shit. They don't even understand the fundamentals of talking shit, that you might need some basis in reality for the shit you're talking. Like, you can't make fun of a skinny person for being fat because it just doesn't make any sense. It's bad shit talking. So hopefully it continues. Hopefully other theaters follow suit, because a service like that I would enjoy. If Stubbs A-List it's $20 instead of $10 a month, I would pay that fucking price. And then with that, you can only see 3 movies a week, but you can go see, like, any kind of screening, 3D, IMAX, XD, 4D, whatever. So yeah, I'd totally be stoked if something offered something in that area. So I'll be doing a lot less current movie reviews as a result. I still love movies, so I'm still going to see some in theaters. And that Metro 8 theater, it's only like $6-7 for a ticket, so it's still cheap as shit. But still, 6-7 times more than I was paying. But whatever, people want to hate, so give somebody something to hate about. Just like a culture of hate. Just find something. You got to have something to hate about in this culture. So just hate on shit that doesn't even exist. Like Movie Pass being a bad idea for being able to go to any chain for $10 a month and watch fucking movies. Oh, I got ripped off. They got me. So anyway, Movie Pass, that's all I got to say. I fucking love it. I wish I had gotten into Movie Pass sooner. But I'll just have to wait like 6 months for them to come up on Netflix or Amazon or, other nefarious ways of watching content. But hopefully something comes along to replace it. Maybe some investor buys Movie Pass and then makes it work, makes the numbers work. Just do something. I don't know what you could do. There's tons of ways you can make money in this world. So the fact that Movie Pass can't make it work, it's a bummer. But yeah. So anyway, that's it for this episode. Go to inspireddisorder.com for all of my work, artwork, all that stuff. If you want exclusive behind-the-scenes making of content, go to patreon.com/inspireddisorder. All the links are up in the top little area up here in the area where you click, and then a whole list of descriptions and links comes down for each episode. That's it, everybody. My name is Ray Taylor, at Ray Taylor on Twitter and Instagram. Have a great week. Peace out!
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Yo, what's up? Welcome to my show! How's it going, everybody? Hope you're having a great week. I want to recommend, as you know, I'm sure, if you don't, best recognize, I'm a huge fan of podcasts. Huge. Produced a bunch of myself. Ran a little podcast network for a little bit. Subscribed to way too many. Mostly comedians. Mostly, comedy podcasts. Every once in a while, I'll get into like The Dollop is kind of a good transition if you want to get to know more history, but also like comedy. Hosted by a buddy of mine, Gareth Reynolds, and Dave Anthony. Also, they do live shows around the world, so go check them out, The Dollop, if you're looking for history. But I'm not talking about a history podcast or a comedy podcast. I'm talking about a true crime podcast called Sword and Scale. Now, I'm a fan. I subscribed like everybody did that discovered podcasts for the first time. I didn't discover podcasts this way, but a lot of people did when Serial came out. True crime followed a single story through the season of the each episode to episode, ongoing kind of a thing. Addicting, really good. Second season of Serial, wasn't into it, didn't give a shit. It was about military. It's like, oh, shady shit's going on in the military? I don't give a fuck. No duh. Like, I don't want to feel depressed about, like, the majority of the money that this country gets from its citizens going to kill people in other countries. And then, like, ooh, let's talk about some little side mystery of soldiers, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for your service. If you're, whatever. I don't know. Not a fan. But Sword and Scale, hosted by, what's this dude's name? This dude's name is Mike Baudet, probably. I'm going to go with that. I was introduced to this guy and this show on the podcast Tiger Belly, hosted by stand-up comedian Bobby Lee, girlfriend Kalila, and he was a guest, and I guess they are into this podcast, and each episode, so saw it was a good episode. I was like, I'll check it out. I like true crime stuff. I like watching, Making a Murderer and all these shows, cold cases, all this kind of stuff. I enjoy that kind of stuff where you get to like investigate these things. So I subscribed to it, and each episode is a self-contained story. Each episode's about a little over an hour. So told from start to finish. It's done the production is done in a really well done way. It's very much like the audio version of what you would see on something like Netflix. Like the production is high end, pro status, really good. They get actual interviews. They have court testimony. They have reenactments and all kinds of stuff. It's very in depth and interesting because it's about like these moments where people, normal, average people, like break bad in a way, and they're faced with these kind of not necessarily. You find out in some cases they're faced with crazy situations in their life, and they take the most asinine way out, generally involving murder and all this stuff. So it's one of them. For instance, I listened to one today, and it was about this woman that was found. They found like a torso, and in finding the torso, they needed to find the rest of the pieces so they can help identify. And then they go into like the backstory of this lady who started a business with her friend where they're selling advertisement on menus, and you find out that she got this job to get away from her husband, or to get custody of their kids. And like the guy had another family and ended up like he hooked up, got married with this actress who was in some shit, and who, when you hear her testimony in court, sounds like the dumbest fucking person ever. Not really the dumbest person ever, but that category of stupid people that exist, that are like their brains are made out of wood and gears and they can't really think very well. It's very difficult for them to form ideas and opinions. Generally, they regurgitate things that they may see on TV, like maybe Fox News or something. I don't know. Dumb person, and just tries to play stupid, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, the story that they come up with, and it's insanity. The crime that was committed, and that they chopped up the body and like had it, threw it into this pond in a different state, and yeah, I'm not doing a good job at all of describing this particular episode. I think it's the newest episode, came out on the 1st of August. But it's if you're into like true crime stuff, and you listen to or maybe you're thinking of getting into podcasts, and you're like, I don't like interviews. I don't like. It's like comedy. I don't comics, whatever. I don't give a shit. I like, I watch these kinds of shows. I'd like to have podcasts that are similar. Well, here you go. If you're into true crime, check out Sword and Scale. It's really well done, man. It's so well done. I think he mentioned it potentially going to a TV series at some point, which hopefully Netflix will pick it up. That would be cool, or Amazon. But I enjoy the show, and they have a Patreon page. I think it's like the number 2 most successful Patreon page, where you get like bonus material, and I think even like, remember in the 90s they used to have, like, for Jerry Springer, they would have those late night infomercials that would come on. You'd have like Girls Gone Wild, and it would be like Too Hot for TV, and you'd get a compilation DVD of all the things that they couldn't air on Jerry Springer, that you get to see, like people getting naked and like obscene slurs and like fucking all kinds of craziness. So apparently, like, that's what their Patreon page is. It's the Too Hot for Podcasts extra bonus material. So good on them. I haven't gone to see it to see how much they're making, because that would just make me feel bad for how little I'm making on my Patreon page. But I highly recommend checking out the show, and I'm sure you'll get addicted to it. I love it. I've gone back and listened to a bunch of back episodes, and I'm probably going to burn through the catalog eventually. They've done like 100 and some, just over 100 episodes now. They come out, I think, twice a month. It says bi-weekly, so I don't think it's twice a week. I think it's one every 2 weeks, which is still a good frequency for something that clearly takes a long time to produce. So I enjoy it. But if you are into supporting Patreon pages, you can go to mine, patreon.com/inspireddisorder. The link is right up above me here. Also, my website, inspireddisorder.com, where you can go buy my artwork and see all of the work that I do, Photoshops, all of that stuff. But as a Patreon member, you get behind-the-scenes making-of videos. You get to watch this show before it gets released that week. You get to see making of videos of my artwork, of Photoshops, a bunch of stuff. It's too hot for TV. Woo-wee. That's it, everybody. Have a great week. My name is Ray Taylor. This is my show. Peace out!
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to my show. That's right. In this episode, I'm giving you a little update. So, as you may or may not know, I have a Patreon page. The link for it's right up there in the little info thing. But with Patreon, if you become a supporter, which for the early adopters is only $1, $3 after the first 100 adopters, blah, 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 you get early access to all the things that I do. So artwork, you get first access to view it, purchase it. You get to see the making of that artwork before anybody else does. You get to see making of Photoshops before anybody else does. And now that I'm doing the Ray Taylor Show on IGTV, you will get all the full week of episodes all in one clip. So you can watch all week's episodes before they get released to the public. So basically, I generally record these on a Sunday, and they'll get uploaded and everything Sunday night. So you can see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday's episode, because I do an episode each day of the week except for the weekend. You get to see all of that on Patreon. So for $1, if you want to watch the full weeks of Ray Taylor episodes, Ray Taylor Show, you can go patreon.com/inspired disorder. And you still get to watch the making of for the Photoshops that I do, making of for artwork that I do, as well as you get special members-only discount code, which if you want to buy any of my artwork over at inspireddisorder.com, which the link is up in the bio also, you can do that, use the coupon code, save a bunch of money, start collecting my art, and everybody's happy. That's it. That's how you make everybody happy. So that's it. That's all this episode is. I just wanted to let everybody know that future episodes, back episodes, are available at Patreon, patreon.com/inspired disorder, and you get to watch those before anybody else does. As soon as they get recorded and uploaded, they will be available. Patreon.com/inspired disorder. That's it, everybody. Follow me, Instagram, Twitter, at Ray Taylor, inspireddisorder.com, patreon.com/inspired disorder. Have a great week. Peace out.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to my show. Talking about UFC in this episode. There was a pay-per-view that I was very wrong about. I talked shit about it in the last UFC episode where, definitely a lot of people that I hadn't heard of. Although while watching, I was like, oh, that's where they came from. That's why there was one female fight in the main card that was really should not have been. Should have been on a prelim card. It was horrible. Two green fighters that should not have been headlining a pay-per-view. Not headlining, but just on a pay-per-view card at all. But anyway, this was TJ Dillashaw versus Cody Garbrandt 2 out in LA this past Saturday. And it was, I watched it from top to bottom. I wasn't even planning on watching it. I wasn't going to watch it live anyway. I was going to watch it, Sunday or maybe Monday. Decided to watch it, ended up, staying home yesterday and caught the whole card. And pretty much from top to bottom, it was a fun card. There's definitely a lot of people. It definitely went to a lot of decisions. There were a few finishes in the Fight Pass prelim, and then there was two finishes in the pay-per-view card. But overall, it was decision heavy, but still really good fights, really entertaining fights. So TJ Dillashaw, for those that don't know, or do know, I'm sure you know, but get my opinion on it. TJ Dillashaw beat Cody Garbrandt as I believe I'm pretty sure I chose TJ, and it was decisive first round. They were, I mean, it was he definitely put himself in the flames to get the knockout, but he could just take what Cody was giving and was able to hit Cody with a lot more and really put him away. Hit him with a knee that kind of finished it off. He was up on the cage and just laying into him, and then the knee. You know, he was still there, but the cage helped him a lot. The cage, like, he was pretty out in that exchange and just, kind of was waking up as Herbert Dean ended the fight. But I thought it was a great win for TJ Dillashaw. Henry Cejudo fought just before and shocked the fucking world. I thought for sure he was going to be more competitive than the first time, because the first time they matched him up with DJ was like, it's just they were running out of people for DJ to fight. So there's like everybody was getting a title shot in that division because it was just such a fucking just a light division with no competition. And one of the reasons why I have an asterisk to DJ, I think he's the greatest fighter ever. I still do. But I think if he had fought more this is like one of the first times we've seen a competitive fight. Clearly the most competitive fight. In the past, it's been like, Tim Elliott had a single moment in the fight where he had his neck. And, fucking, not Mighty, the other small dude, the magician, Dotson. He, like, clipped him, hit him hard, had him wobbled. Now was another moment that DJ was in trouble. But other than that, he's pretty dominant in every fight he's ever had. And maybe some of the early ones, like he lost to Dominic Cruz, obviously, and then there was a split decision earlier, like 6 years ago. But definitely competitive. Cejudo used his wrestling. I mean, first off, I think his karate stance helped give him distance from Mighty Mouse, and his leg early on got fucked up, and it was just the first round was like, oh well, this is going to be over soon, because Cejudo gets kicked in the leg, his foot goes numb, and he can't pick it up off the ground, and he starts rolling it, trying to step on it. Luckily, after 5 seconds, it looked like he was able to get his footing back, and still lost the first round, but his karate stance definitely seemed like it gave him more room to stay away from DJ's attack. And once he was able to get those takedowns, I mean, he was a lot of takedown attempts, but once he was able to get those, and they were like, Demetrius, it's like trying to take him down is like trying to take down like a wild fucking feral cat. Like the movement in scrambles that he has is just ridiculous. And Cejudo going into the last round, probably I thought he had won 2 rounds, even though it was like basically him just neutralizing DJ and staying on top on the ground, controlling, landing punches, staying active, but not really. It wasn't like a dominant win in those rounds, but still wins. And going into the last round, I thought it was tied up, and he seemed to do a little bit more, was able to get that takedown again. And yeah, it was a close fight. It was so close. But yeah, it was a split decision. Cejudo wins it. Great win for him. I'm sure there'll be a rematch, immediate rematch. Although when Cejudo won, thank you, Cejudo, calls out, he's like, I'm going to go up to 135, and I'm going to fight whoever wins that, which TJ won it. When they told TJ after he won, he was like, hell yeah, let's do this shit. So I'm excited for that super fight. I'm excited for, since the division's not, I mean, it's slightly better. Like Pettis is kind of an up and coming. Also, Cejudo obviously up and comer. I would imagine Demetrius is going to get the first shot when he defends that belt. But yeah, so him going up to fight TJ, I think is It's interesting as fuck, and way more interesting than anything Demetrius has done in his career. Sadly, but great performance, man. The J.J. Ulrich versus Viana fight, boring as shit. That should have been on the Fight Pass prelims. Santos versus Holland. Holland got dominated, but when he wasn't getting dominated, looked impressive. So it'll be interesting to see how he improves because he's a new up-and-comer. Brett Johns lost, but heart for days. Yeah, it's good fights overall. I enjoyed the card, was pleasantly surprised, and was able to see a changing of the guard in the flyweight division with Henry Cejudo winning it. And, it finally makes that division a little bit more exciting. So, yeah, great fights. There's not any fights for like 3 weeks, so I'll make picks for that probably the week before it happens, if I remember to. It's Justin Gaethje versus Vic, which should be interesting. But, yeah, so good card. You can follow me on social media at Ray Taylor. I'm sure you know that. Links to everything, my website, inspireddisorder.com, patreon.com/inspireddisorder. If you want exclusive content, if you want to see all the artwork that I do, inspireddisorder.com. All the links are up top. As always, thank you all. Have a great week. See you tomorrow. Peace out.